AITA for using my boyfriend's PS savings to buy a new camera. My 24F boyfriend 26 meters asked if he could have my camera to take with him to the beach with his friends. I said no, but he took it anyway and didn't tell me. He then came home to tell me that it broke. I was furious because 1, I never gave him permission to take it, and 2, it's an expensive camera. I demanded that he pay me for a replacement, but he kept stalling, saying he didn't have money. He has been saving up for a new PS after his old one broke. It was about $450 in total, so I took it and added about $80 to buy a new camera that was similar to my old one. He found out about it this morning and went off on me, saying I shouldn't have touched his money that he worked so hard to save. I told him he broke my camera and was responsible for paying for a replacement. He yelled at me, saying that what happened with him was all accidental, whereas what I did was on purpose and petty and theft as well. We had a big argument and he had his friend come tell me how I fucked up by taking his money and acting sneaky about it. He's wanting his money back now and is pressuring me to return the camera, saying it's not as essential as the PS he was planning to buy. Story 2. AITA for proposing to my GF at my brother's wedding and posting it on social media. My brother and his wife got married last week. It was a big beach wedding with about 100 people, while the bride and groom were doing their photo shoot that took an hour. The guests were walking down the beach, having some snacks that were served, talking to each other, etc. We were waiting for the dinner to be served and just killing time. My GF and I have been together for 10 years and have a kid together. Marriage just never came up. We are both really not the romantic type. When our son was born, I jokingly told her I'd propose to her on a beach at sunset someday. So after the wedding we were walking down the beach. We were alone. No one was even paying any attention to us at all because there were 100 people there. I just asked her, so, beach at sunset, will you marry me? She said. We had a good laugh, took a selfie together and slowly walked back to the site of the reception. We haven't told anyone we are getting married yet. It will be a courthouse wedding anyway. 2 days ago my GF posted that selfie on her social media, tagged me and wrote a caption, finally marrying the love of my life, and a sunset beach proposal. Now everyone who knows us knew it was a sarcastic caption, and knew it was more a joking post than anything else. Brother and Sil called us very upset hours after that post. Sil said we ridiculed their wedding with our post. Brother said I'm an off for proposing at someone else's wedding. AITA. Story 3. AITA for my response to my bill complaining about how I stole his job. I am a mechanic. I've been doing it at a younger age and learned a lot from my dad. I'm making a living out of it now and I'm sure that my dad couldn't been more proud. Anyways, my husband's brother is a mechanic as well. Unfortunately, he lost his job 4 months ago and keeps complaining about the lack of JPB opportunities. Last night we visited him and my in-laws for dinner, and Bill kept making indirect comments when I talked about my work. He then sighed, looked at me and said that no wonder he's out of job. I looked to him for more clarification, and he proceeded to say that us women made it impossible for the likes of him to find a job in his field only because we stole that from them. Specifically, he said that I stole his job just by working in his field when I had a ton of other available jobs for women. I found this offensive, but I calmly smiled and said I know, right? That must really grind your gears. My husband and my in-laws got the joke and started laughing. Bill looked offended so much that he got up and left the table. Mill pulled me aside later and said that it wasn't okay how I humiliated her son who's been struggling, and that I should apologize to him before I leave, but I politely refused. I went home with my husband and he told me that while what I said was somewhat funny, he felt like I humiliated his brother and made him feel more upset about his current situation. He too thinks that an apology is in order. So what do you guys think? Was I the awe? Story 4. AITA for giving my friend a negative referral for his job application. A few months ago my so-called best friend abruptly cut all contact with me after I opened up about mental health issues to him. Prior to this we have never discussed anything mental health related and it took a lot of courage for me to open up. I tried my absolute best not to trauma dump. I respected his boundaries and pretty much just told him that all I wanted to do was to get it off my chest and that I didn't expect him to go out of his way to do anything for me or to give me any special treatment. Despite this, he completely stopped responding to my messages for the next 2 months, and I found out from another friend of mine that he decided to cut me off because he apparently saw me as a potential liability. This caused me to fall into an even deeper depressive state, which I'm still currently in as I'm writing this. However, last night he called me after months of no contact and told me he was applying for an internship and didn't have enough references, so he put my name and number down as his former manager and told me to just pretend to be his ex-manager at his old job in case I received a phone call. In the moment I was furious and shocked at his audacity to ask me for favors after how he betrayed me. But I held it in and told him that I would help out. Sure enough, I received the call this morning from the firm that he was applying for, and I straight up just told them he was lying and only put my number down because he couldn't find any other references. I told them that he is a compulsive liar and that they shouldn't trust him.